welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, a 60/40 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and if you can hear all the excitement in Eric's voice, it's because it's definitely there.
Yeah, it's been a Tuesday, and normally I look forward to this. Today, this feels like homework, so I'm going to try to turn it around and just thinking that light at the end of the tunnel with that rope on a load-bearing beam and my rickety stool, and I'm ready for this day to be over.
I mean, it's been pretty tough for me too. I finished smoking a pork shoulder, and then I started eating pieces of it, watched the World Cup, and after that I just took a 30-minute nap, got up, and rock and roll right into this.
Yeah, okay, so you've been struggling too, is what I'm hearing.
It's been a tough it's been a tough Tuesday.
You know, when you talked about smoking that pork, I figured you were lobbing one over the plate, but we'll pin in that till a little bit later this episode.
No, I started it yesterday. I got a giant shoulder, and one of our friends makes a banging pico de gallo. So every time we always exchange, I feed him pork products, and he drops off tortillas, rice, and some pico, and we make excellent tacos.
Okay, so there's pork smoking and exchange of goods and services. Oh, double pin in this one. Till later.
Fair enough. Let's get this thing so Eric can go paint cherry pie in the wall of his rental unit and start it off with
cherry pie.
The USA will be, from this point forward, known as, all caps, the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. But as such, and as a matter of fairness, will be reimbursed at the rate of 20% on all cargo shipped for any and all costs necessary to do the job of providing safety and security to this very volatile section of the world. Now, if you do not see this text, every time I got a little bit of a pause, there was a comma. Some of these things were capitalized, and not a single period was used throughout that entire word mumbo jumbo that I just said. So who could have said this?
This is definitely our fearless leader, Donald Trump, once again proving that no matter what your 2nd through 5th grade teachers told you when they were marking up your little essays in red ink, grammar will never matter ever, ever, ever again. It's a sucker's game. It's a hoax, if you will. Grammar's for losers. And I don't understand why he even bothered with commas.
I mean, you just shove them in everywhere. There's quotation marks around things like the guardian of the Hormuz Strait, which is all capitalized, and quotation marks. Then start a new quotation mark, and some of these things don't make any sense. And how do you honestly be a teacher nowadays and be like, well, if you want to have a good paying job or be the president of this country, you got to stay in school? Like, F you, I'm going to go touch people and just stare underneath dresses. That's how the current guy did it.
That's when it's up to that underpaid public school teacher to look that kid right in the eye and go, the vagina you slivered out of is not rich enough for you to be this stupid.
It all depends on where we came from at the end of the day. It's not exactly what you put in, but yeah. Let's keep this thing going. We got some good ones here. It's Tesla. We left you on Thursday. It was 407. It went down to 396, and I'm sure there's never a lawsuit, but some analyst is going to tell you that he believes in the stock, so who knows what it's going to do tomorrow.
Yeah, but it was only one car that autonomously ran into a house. So if you think about it, it's still a pretty good ratio we're working with here to the moon. This thing will be at 450. It's getting to the point where the more people die, they're like, no, but that just means it's getting better at it.
It's more mass adaptation. Honestly, by the time these things keep hitting us, we're just going to develop herd immunity from getting hit by Tesla cars. That's what Elon's bringing to the table.
Would you trust, right? Put your little Republican hat on here. Would you trust the FSD Tesla or a woman driver?
Or Lindsey Graham in a dark closet.
In that.
If it's my Republican
Remember, you got to think like a Republican.
Well, if it's my Republican MAGA hat that's on, and clearly it's going to be the Tesla. But we got to upgrade it to a Cybertruck because that's more manly.
Well, yeah, no, that's what Alphas drive. and that's why you can always tell it's just packed full of women in there because they're so alpha that they're just magnetized to it.
Enough but single men behind the steering wheel every time I see it.
I've never seen more than one person in a Cybertruck. And honestly, Elon, check the cameras because they get fingers and swerved into every single time. Not one of them has a passenger. It's like a oh my God. If ICE made enough money to afford one, this is what they would all drive. Like, I'm sad and lonely, but refuse to look inward. Maybe I'll just buy a Cybertruck instead. That'll fix my problem.
Ice Bros like to hang out with Ice Bros. It's like two rejects from your police academy have a lot to talk about, so they're always going to want to be next to each other. Plus, you want to bounce the ideas of how great each of you are off somebody who actually agrees with you and is dumb enough to agree with you.
Well, I mean, they all have very similar stories about how they were going to join the military.
Seeing red.
Yeah, I just see red, bro. I don't do with authority. I mean, like, well, here's your gun.
Yeah, and another killing has happened in Maine, and Senator Collins out there said, what was her exact wording? Let me see. God, I forgot what it was. It's like, if we abolish ICE, America will not be safer. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, so I can't remember. Did we cover the other fatal ICE shooting in Houston yet? Or was that... Or are we treating these ICE shootings like they're schools and just be like, don't mention it unless one of them's white?
Send over thoughts and prayers. It's like, it's just another brown guy gone. Like, we'll get by without it.
TNP, boys, TNP.
So, we'll get more into the shootings later on. The main one kind of just a little bit new. I want to give it a little bit of time to research it, and we'll do an update on that one on Thursday. But in the meantime, the other half of Elon is SpaceX, and that went from $1.45 to $1.36. So that continues to go down, kind of like in a K-hole. But this is because over the weekend, China actually showed a video of them landing a rocket on a launch pad, showing that, you know what, everyone else is doing it now too. So, and the fact that it's essentially a meme stock. I don't know why it went up all the way to $225, but it's coming back to Earth.
Stock market is a hoax. Also, how did China do that without all that freedom? Where did they get this technology?
I mean, some people will tell you that, they stole it from Elon. He's the only one smart enough. I'm like, Elon's not smart enough, honey. If that's your lead engineer, I was like, that's not the guy.
Yeah, we both know somebody who occasionally acts like they're in a K-hole. Old Moonrock Mike. And I don't know. I've never been like, let me bounce some theoretical ideas off of you here. Just, sometimes you got to know your audience. Elon's not that guy.
He sometimes comes to the table and bounces them off you, though.
I've got 2 hats to illustrate how I wear many hats. You're like, 288 put through the roof.
The underwriting firm for SpaceX is still claiming that it's worth at least $300 per stock, but they kind of have a horse in that race.
Don't go throwing stuff like conflict of interest out there. That's a hoax and a myth.
I mean, it's a ship they're gonna die on. It's you got to keep pumping the brand. But one thing, it's over in Honey Badger stand. Do you see the video of the Russian guy spinning around on the turret?
Yeah, of course.
So,
hilarious. Honest to God, thought it was a meme joke. I thought that was AI, just like, what would this look like? No, that was a real thing that happened. What a cartoon.
If it happened anywhere else in Europe, it would be like, you know what, that may be AI, but having something that stupid happen in Russia, I'm like, that's kind of par for the course. But if you haven't seen it, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the bottom. But it's one guy who essentially grabbed a 4-barrel machine gun and then just pushes down the little butterfly thing, the trigger on it, and just starts spinning around like it's a Looney Tunes cartoon. And it essentially encompasses exactly what Russia is right now. You make the promise of super weapons, they underdeliver. You have someone screwed completely up, and you endanger everybody around you.
Yeah, how is that not an ICE training video?
Not yet.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this, I highly suggest. I legitimately thought this was like a Vine where it kept repeating, but this dude gets put in spin cycle. It honest to God looks like a cartoon. Like, if I was going to make this Russian cartoon, I'd be like The Adventures of Paper Tiger.
What's the dumbest thing a person can do with a 4-barrel machine gun? Like, you put that in a chat GPT and it would spit out that video, but it's real life because it's Russia.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, if you haven't, and it'll make you smile in a otherwise sort of terrible news cycle.
Yeah, but one thing that did not make me smile is a big F you to Greta Thunberg, who's usually I got no problems with. I like the environment. I have a Prius, but she's currently outside of a Rheinmetall headquarters in Germany, and she's screaming about how Rheinmetall is out there perpetrating the war in genocide in Gaza, and I don't like this for two reasons. First of all, Rheinmetall is my little white horse in my war portfolio stock, and that's going to provide for my retirement savings. That already took a 25% hit when Germany decided not to make warships. But Greta out there might make it even worse. And the other reason is Rheinmetall is supplying Ukraine. It's not like they're sending anti-drone technology to Israel. It's not like they're sending Taurus missiles and Leopard tanks to Israel. Like, Israel doesn't need those items. Like, Rheinmetall is helping out Ukraine. So Greta, get back on a boat and go lead the flotilla or something.
For anybody who's ever worked customer service before, I'm sure you've had that issue where a customer or somebody comes in very, very complainy, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, you're definitely the only person I've ever helped ever. Yeah, they're a business. They're going to sell to tons of people. Does it suck that Israel might be buying some stuff from them? Yeah, absolutely. But, if not now, it'll go towards a war crime in a different area. So, it's just kind of part of life.
Well, the number one person that pretty much Rheinmetall is selling to right now is not Israel. Like, there are plenty of places you can perpetrate. Why don't you drive down to Lockheed Martin here, Greta, and try that S outside?
Yeah, you ever notice they never go after the big dogs? Or at least we never hear about it?
She would get shot by ice in a heartbeat. And that guy would get pardoned not even before her body is drained of all the blood.
Yeah, no, if you really want to make some noise, go get shot immediately in front of Halliburton.
What are you doing outside in Rheinmetall? They're not sending Leopard tanks over to Israel. Stop it. They're helping out Ukraine to try to stop all that. Keeping your rear end safe. At a certain point, protest makes sense, but at a certain point, you're just an idiot who's entitled.
I still give Greta the benefit of the doubt here. But yeah, if at this point, if you're helping Ukraine, you kind of get a pass on Middle East right now. We've got slightly bigger fish to fry before we can start frying the other fish.
You clearly don't have Rheinmetall in your war portfolio, and that's on you.
No, the stock market is a sham. It's a hoax, and I refuse to be a part of it.
Pays my very real bills, but continuing right along, it's with Ukraine. I did get a little bit of clarifications as far as what's going on with the Kerch Bridge. I know I wanted to come down 4th of July, and it's actually come out and it made a little bit of sense. One thing they've said is you never take away your enemy's road to retreat. And if they took down the Kerch Bridge, the Russians themselves wouldn't be getting out of there in droves. The Russian military would be pretty much locked in there. When someone's locked in with no way out, they're going to kind of fight to the last man. So the Ukrainians have come out and be like, we're going to keep that thing there. It's we're going to make your life a living hell, so you're not going to want to be here, but we're going to leave that bridge there as a sign. So that's kind of reasoning for that. I can drink the champagne on that one still.
I'd still like the explosion. I get it. I understand. I still want to see nothing but debris and fire. Basically, I want to see what Gaza looks like on that bridge.
Yeah. After everyone is gone, as Ukraine gets it, be like, you know what, that's awesome. It's I can live with that. But yeah, I'll always give them a way to get out. That makes sense.
No, it does make sense. But yeah, you gotta admit, watching that bridge go up in flames on the 4th of July would have been just erect nipple city.
Baby, they've destroyed over 90 boats in the Azov and Black Seas so far, and they're not stopping. Some of the reasons that the reasons the Russians are rolling out of there is because on a nightly basis now in Moscow, they have raids. All over Russia, they have raids from drones, and they get hearing the same sirens that Ukrainians have been hearing. Ukrainians are now using maritime drones to transport land drones to just, they'll use a drone or transport a drone to F up your actual military. That's never been done before. And the boats that they're blowing up, I'd said 74, it's actually up to 90 of them. And they're not only taking out the boats, but when the tugboats come over, to get these ships back to port, they're F it. Like, we're going to take out the tugboats too. And the immortal words of DMX, handicap and bombs get it too. And I love it.
At some point, if they keep it up at this pace, they're going to end up damming off that port like it was a bunch of beavers. And that's going to have to make me rethink calling it Honey Badger Stand.
Like, Honey Beaver Stand?
Honey Beaver Stand. Ooh, I do kind of like that.
It's a hybrid. It's a honey badger that swims.
Honestly, think about it. You hit enough of those boats, depending on how wide that port, the channel is into that port, you could just dam it up.
There's one way to stop it. It makes sense. And Russians are also talking about moving their actual, what's it called? Like transportation industry away from the area. And you know what? That makes sense. How about just moving it back into Russia? That'll stop any of your stupid ships from getting hit. Like, go back to your own soil.
Yeah, it's almost as if there was like a safety line that was written on a map that if you just went back to the other side, maybe all this violence would stop.
Like, stop losing so many people, so much money. Like, be able to fill up at a gas station. Like, just go back home.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honey Beaver Stand. I'm starting to get into it. Now I'd rather see it damned.
We'll check it on the amount of boats that they blow up on Thursday and let you know on that one. But in the meantime, the IOC is back at it again. But on this time, it's some people have fought back because Olympic funding is questioned by 9 EU nations over Russian readmission. And we talked about this earlier about the Paralympics this year, that they allowed the Russians and Belarusian athletes to actually fly their flags while suspending an actual Ukrainian, skeleton racer for pictures of dead friends on his helmet. Say that's too political, but they allowed the Russian and Belarusian flags to come back out. And the head of the IOC said that the previous restriction on Russian athletes enacted to Russia's 4.5-year war in Ukraine were no longer applicable. Like, did they stop being applicable because the war ended? Because last time I checked, it's still happening.
Yeah, that explanation makes less sense than us just guessing at how they were going to spin this into being like, yeah, we're allowing it because of this reason. That is the dumbest thing. And I get it. I read dumb responses to stuff on a daily basis. This makes zero sense.
Yeah, again, this is the crusty response. Like, it moved me to a bigger house. Like, yeah. This is essentially, when you say that, it's like, it's no longer applicable. Like, why? What changed? Like, did they stop invading? Like, no, they're still invading. Like, they're targeting cities even more. It's like, cool. So what changed? Like, they started giving us money. Like, there it is.
Well, enjoy that house in wherever it is, Russia, because as Ukraine's pointed out, they can touch anywhere.
Steven Seagal's home is what the IOC got.
Yeah, that was it.
So the 9 countries are Estonia, Denmark, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Netherlands, Poland, Romania, and Sweden. They have called for these governing bodies to be excluded from the EU's Erasmus Plus and other financial programs. And kudos to all these countries, but I'm not seeing Germany, England, France, like the bigger ones on that list. And if you're shipping arms and everything else to Ukraine and you're kind of already going for it, like, you can go ahead and yell about the Olympics too. It's kind of like you're showing up at the orgy, but you tell everybody, it's like, hey man, I'm just there for the heavy petting. Like, it's time to get sweaty if you're already here.
Yeah, I never understood how, I guess I do understand how, you can be, these historical badasses like France recently, England, Germany, all these guys. And then you're watching the Denmarks and Lithuanias of Europe step up and you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. I don't know. It's got to make you feel like cuck cherry, Like,
you've done all this already. And now Lithuania is actually being more vocal about it than you. Like, well, we don't want to offend the Russians. Like, or what? They'll just go get beat up again? Like, come on. Like, stop it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if a de-armed Ukraine can smack him around, I ain't heard no bell. What could one of our bigger powers do?
Whatever, but we're having our own things with Olympic athletes here. As the Trump administration, we indicted an Olympic athlete for reflecting pool vandalism. And the guy's name is David Hearn. He's a U.S. Olympian and a slalom canoeist. And apparently he's about to get a felony because he tore up about a 2-square-foot section. And he's looking at about 10 years. And wonderful Janine Pirro has come out and said this is one of the most offensive images she has ever seen. Seriously, Janine, the most offensive?
You're going to tell, and I understand she hasn't gotten to take a quick peek in those Epstein files. They keep doing everything to hide. But you're going to tell me between sitting in a studio with Pete Hegseth and Jesse Waters for years, and that, who's the little turd, Greg something or another that's also there? Yeah, there you go. You've been around those guys for years, and somebody picking up a piece of, your failed experiment on trying to change a reflecting pool into a swimming pool was the most offensive thing the pearl clutching has to stop, or we got to save it for something like that warrants it, like a bunch of raped children inside a sealed file.
He's like, man, pulling on some paint in a pool is the worst thing I've seen in my life. Like, how sheltered have you been?
Yeah, and I'm also almost certain I remember her saying, calling the Obama tan suit one of the most offensive things they'd ever seen too. So maybe her words don't really carry the weight I was hoping it would.
You can't be the party of calling everyone a snowflake, screaming about, like, you need safe spaces and trigger words, and every time the smallest thing pops off, you're like, this is the worst thing to happen in this country since anything's ever happened. Like, you can't keep exaggerating every effing time.
I can't wait till President Newsom starts rounding these people up.
If ICE doesn't get to him first.
January 2028.
Don Jr. takes over.
Yeah.
So until then, they did talk to Hearn, and he's maintained his innocence. He said it was just cycling by the reflecting pool, stopped, looked at the peeling paint, and he reached into the water to pretty much feel it. And he denies taking any part of the pool. Honestly, if the pool paint's coming off, you should be able to take a piece of it. But Janine's hearing a completely different story, and she's saying that park employees saw David just tugging and yanking on it, refusing to stop, forcefully and violently pulling on the pool with both hands. Again, the guy's an Olympian, and I would imagine a child would need both hands to peel up that pool as it was already coming apart. Like, apparently he was told, don't do that, and he's like, F you, I'm going to keep doing it. Like, the worst case scenario, like the boogeyman.
Yeah, I could see the story being real if this was like one of our Olympic wrestlers, one of our Olympic rugby guys, something a little bit more alpha-y, but this was a canoeer, a canoeist. I don't know what the word is for this one. And by all accounts, I have not seen anything else with this guy pop up other than this issue. So I'm thinking maybe, it's not worth 10 years in prison.
Did you see the actual pictures of a reflecting pool now that they drained it?
No, haven't seen it since it got drained.
So it's not a giant 200 to 350 foot slit through the pool that you can see. But you can definitely see the tire marks where Trump and his motorcade rolled on through, so that may have contributed slightly to the pool delaminating.
I just will never understand why Antifa did this.
Antifa in their stealth suits and their giant beast-like vehicles.
And now we have another section of the district gated off.
I know, a Prius weighed 2 tons.
Yeah, exactly. Aren't we too busy being sissy lesbians and stuff to go damage? Like, how can we be the most, like, peace-loving, effeminate people and also the most violent and smartest to not be able to get caught on camera?
It's the same thing with the Mexicans. They're the stupidest wetbacks that hop fences, but they also took my wife and job.
And somehow carried their infected cows over here over that unclimbable fence too, right? It's almost like we're dodging any kind of accountability by pointing the finger and blaming someone else.
Going after my gas oven here in Texas, responsible for all my issues that clearly were not caused by the 20-some years of Republicans in power. And also, they're coming for my guns, which Joe Biden did absolutely nothing about. But, if you really want to keep track, Trump has done more against gun ownership than Biden. So, but yeah, Mexicans.
Yeah. Well, now that we've cleared that up, I appreciate it.
Don't worry. Just always want to put it in perspective. But one of the things that we need to touch base on, and red light, green light wars that we're doing, we're actually back on with Iran again. And another thing that's come out is the White House is requesting another $300 billion from the Pentagon. And currently, they're going for $1.15 trillion this year, which the Democrats actually just struck down for a couple of reasons. We'll get more into that one. But they're asking for 1.5 for next year. And Trump just said we're also charging tolls. And as we talked about earlier in the episode. And did you see the Mike Johnson interview when they asked him about this 350 billion?
I have not watched this one yet.
So it's him standing there and they're like, hey man, White House is asking for another $300 billion ahead of a 1.15 trillion and 1.5 for next year. He's like, what is this for? He's like, well, this is for, our military is just the best military in the world right now, and we're updating a few things, but we also need to fight domestic communism on our shores. I'm like, hold on, man. I was like, this worked like 20, 40 years ago when China was communism, Russia was like Soviet Union was communist, like a bunch of the world was communist. Like, not even China is like full-on communist anymore. Like, and the biggest threat is Cuba, which currently is now without effing powers. Don't tell me communism is coming to our shores. Like, they can. If they do come to our shores, it's in a raft.
I think this is the new plan. They're like, well, we're out of blaming all the current people, so let's go back to the hitch. And you're like, watch out for these black guys. Like, I don't. Dude, this kills me. You're like, we're going back after communism. We're gonna make Vietnam great again.
Did you, speaking of the kids, did you see the thing McGregor put up after his wonderful performance over the weekend?
No, I saw him fall down and tear his ACL, and I just called it a win and turned it off.
It was hilarious. We were at a bar watching the soccer matches, and one guy's like, yeah, McGregor's fighting. Obviously, he had a bro backwards hat on, and he's like, yeah, he's back, baby, he's back. And as soon as McGregor's like, I'm done, I looked over at that guy, and he looked so sad, and it was hilarious to me. But again, the one thing with Republicans, anytime you F up, always bring God into this. And McGregor did the same thing. He posted someone up. He's like, man, I had a really good day at church. Like, Jesus is great. He's like, I'm going to do so much. He's like, dude, you're going on a cocaine bender, drinking beers, and just going to F up another fight, like in a couple years when you rehab.
Hey, you know what? If a credibly accused rapist finds God, great for them.
How do you F up making a whiskey in Ireland?
By snorting all of your profits.
You can't make a catalytic converter for Alabama. Like, you suck at making meth for Arizona. Like, this is the headquarters for, like, you can't F up whiskey.
I don't know how anybody could listen to, nonetheless read something from that little green speckled turd. He, like, his shtick got so old, like, second fight for me. I was like, I'm over this. He's like an Irish Chael Sonnen, only not as smart. And then we let him, like, ruin his knees a couple times and ruin some giant main events. Let him get all coked up, rape some chick where they had to surgically remove her tampon. And now we're going to sit here and you're going to read, like, how his day at church went. Like, no, just bury him under the prison with the rest of them. I hate McGregor.
It's like with Russell Brand. He's like,
yes,
I have these church verses. He starts looking for it. He's like, I just cannot find a single one. Like, because you never opened the book before, and someone from your PR team did. He's like, that might be true.
Yeah, no. Even Trump had a better answer for that one. There's just so many. I like them all. I just pick one. Yeah, I said that.
Last. Yeah. The writer's notes by Jesus, really enjoyed reading them. Like, he didn't write the Bible. He's like, you didn't read it like I did. Like, Jesus.
I didn't have to read it. I just had to sign it.
Lee Greenwood. Like, what the hell?
Ugh.
But going right back to the whole thing about us starting to charge tolls, like, I personally think it's kind of funny. We said that Iran can't charge tolls and they're not supposed to. And now Trump's come out and said, he's like, we're charging tolls. And it's like, Iran's right next to the strait. We're not anywhere close to it. Like, we're only there because we're kind of helping out a guy who wanted us to start a war down there. And the fact that he's come, and actually an update on that, when Trump has said that we're not charging tolls anymore, just people are going to invest in America now instead of it. Like, that sounds like a toll.
Yeah, that sounds very pay to play.
It's like if you roll up to a toll booth, instead of paying $5, you make a donation to the toll booth office. I'm like, I'm still $5 short, right? He's like, yeah, but it's not a toll. Like, no, it's a toll.
Yeah, also by $5. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars per boat.
Like, isn't it supposed to be free? And weren't you saying, like, Iran's not supposed to do it? It's like, yeah, but when we do it, it's different.
Yeah, no. Rules are for other people. We are Republicans. Stupid.
The funny thing is, it's well, it might not be funny for a lot of people there. It's the vessels now face a stark choice. Like if they move to the Omani side of the strait, they can get attacked by Iran. But if they sail closer to Iran while they're talking to Iran, they risk of being accused of violating the Trump blockade and could get pretty much attacked by the U.S. So it's like you got two different sides. Like, do we pay like tolls? Does it come out to like 40% tolls? Like, is that how much stuff is going to get more expensive?
I mean, the numbers I saw were like something like 20% of whatever the cargo is like valued at.
I'm just gonna say we're transporting Beanie Babies. Like
Yep.
every time, like, what are you gonna do? He's like, we're gonna bomb you. Like, oh crap, didn't account for that.
Old car parts headed to the scrapyard.
What's the one saying? It's like if a dollar changes hands in New York, like the park, it's like I want to taste.
I want to taste. Christopher Walken from oh god, why can't I think
King
of
of
the
New
movie?
York.
Yes, King of New York. Fantastic film. Criminally underrated.
It's criminally is what we're doing right now because we just want to wet our beaks a little.
Well, you know, on the other side, since we're fighting communism all over the world now, especially, you know, domestically, maybe we give it a little bit of capitalism, and when Iran drops their 20% toll to 19%, and then we have to undercut them, maybe this all works out well. Or maybe capitalism's a scam and they'll just agree to a set pricing. I wonder which of the two are more likely.
Speaking of communism on our shores, don't we own a part of Intel now? A private company that now the government owns, and we're talking about owning more private companies?
But that's good for Americans. When we start owning our own grocery stores and stuff, that's when it's bad for Americans. Unless it's a Trump gas station somehow getting their gas cheaper than everywhere else, but pinning that till Thursday.
Just shut up and be offended by this buzzword.
Yeah.
So, one thing I did look up on tolls, essentially it's completely, if it's international waters, you're not allowed to impose a toll because you can charge for something that isn't yours. But one thing has come out, and people are like, what about the Panama Canal? Like, well, the canal wasn't there. The canal took time to build, and that's technically an improvement in that area. So if you have something like any kind of a lock system, which you pretty much change out a river system to allow for passage, like you can charge for that. The Panama Canal is there and allowed to charge tolls because it literally got cut through a bunch of land and a bunch of swamps and everything else. Like, the Strait of Hormuz hasn't changed. They haven't made the strait any better. You can't charge for that. So those are the big differences between the two.
Okay, so if it's still naturally occurring in international waters, you can't charge anything. But like if you've modified it or manned it somehow, then you can. So like for instance, if somebody wanted to sail their shipping container into the Gulf of Belgium, Belgium couldn't charge them coming to drop off stuff to us.
Well, you see, the problem is there we have an unhinged president, so things always change. You're not allowed to do that, but in a normal world, we had a sleepy Joe Biden, but no, we wouldn't be able to charge for some unimproved body of water that is considered international water.
I remember when Joe Biden ruined our World Cup chances. Now we're dealing with the Strait of Belgium here, or the Gulf of Belgium. It's a nightmare.
What has Trump really done for the country other than the Gulf of America? Like, I can't name a single benefit I've experienced under this administration.
Well, we were definitely. I mean, there are lots of things he's done. Like, for instance, we were getting way too friendly with all of our allies and trade partners. Bam! We're the ones in control here.
Smaller circle of friends. I like it.
Yeah. You know, you gotta keep your circle tight.
Yeah.
So pretty
the
much.
Europeans ain't loyal.
Yeah. So just Israel and Russia. No, things are so much worse than they were 4 years ago. Nonetheless, 16 years ago. We miss you, Obama.
Obama.
Now who's going to be on getting listened into?
Baby, I'm already on that list. I was like, you can only try and join it.
I'm getting in this list.
What is it? Star pound 21 pound. You let me know when it comes back as disabled.
Well, while we're sitting here talking about how bad Trump's ripping up the back door of this country, Have you ever been to one of those restaurants where if your entree is taking too long, they just send over a free appetizer to appease you while you wait?
No, they usually just don't make eye contact with me, just walk past the table.
Well, as a man with an extensive palate, I have been in one of these, and we kind of had the same situation while we all waited for bated breath to see if Mitch McConnell is dead or brain dead or actually recovering nicely in a hotel or in a hospital. Lindsey Graham out of nowhere came and kicked the bucket early Saturday morning this weekend, dropping dead of aortic dissection early Saturday around roughly somewhere between 2 and 3 a.m. Graham's chosen replacement until January for his South Carolina seat will be his sister, Darlene, a suggestion from Trump because DEI is only evil if you're black.
Are we seriously just switching to a sister where you can just hand down power via your bloodline? Is that what we're going to? It's just going to be like, well, now that Trump is gone, we don't need election. He's just going to hand it over to Trump Jr.
Yeah, all of a sudden people start dying and they're just going to fill those seats like they did with that Yahoo over in Judge in Nevada.
Did you see the picture of Mitch McConnell in the hospital versus the picture of him and his wife in the Caribbean, which they look exactly the same?
Yeah, so very mixed reviews on whether this is AI or not. Legitimately cannot get a straight answer.
It is Photoshop. They changed the background. It's not AI. They took the two faces, like ripples on a shirt and everything are exactly the same. You select them, you crop a picture, and you put a different back. It's the same thing on Zoom, where some people will have in the back a bunch of like oceans and whatnot. It's the same concept. It's not AI. It's Photoshop.
Yeah, it's funny. I watched somebody ask Grok if it was AI, and Grok said, "Yep." And then I saw somebody ask OpenAI, and they said, "Absolutely not. This one's real." So not only can we not, so if we can't trust AI, no reason we shouldn't be attacking data centers tonight.
Yeah. Well, Grok might have, he might have gotten a new update pushed up by Elon.
Thank God, because Mecha Hitler was getting a little tedious.
Yeah. He'll be back.
So everything we just talked about is a fact, but the internet was on fire Saturday morning. Honestly, probably my favorite cup of coffee. I sat down on the couch, kicked my feet up, went, "Ooh, let's see what the Twitterverse has to say." And oh my God, when I saw Lindsey kick the bucket, everything went ape. So not so much about what happened to him and verifying he was dead, but I'm talking about all the men claiming to have been paid by Lindsey for sex over the past 20 years, with most of them starting their stories off with, "Well, since I guess my NDA is no longer valid." Have you gotten a chance to poke your little nose in this?
I've seen a couple of those. Honestly, I could care less. If you want to bang bros behind closed doors, like I honestly could care. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, no.
Dude,
we don't kink shame.
Like, what you expect to happen?
Yeah, believe me, we're not here to kink shame. What I do not tolerate is a bunch of these closet cases, and there are definitely more in Congress, then turning around and voting against all the rights that they should have, instead of just coming out of said closet and enjoying a little bit of sunshine.
So Graham said he wants to protect the religious liberties of those who believe that opposing same-sex marriage is part of... never mind, that is not pro-LGBT, is it?
No, but a great story I read about red lingerie and face down, ace up, because this NDA is no longer valid, seemed pretty exact opposite of what he just said.
I think NDAs have an out. If you just sign an NDA, I don't think it's when I'm dead.
Well, who's going to sue you?
I would imagine an estate. Rich people, do you think when they die, they pass away? You just saw the transfer of power from him to his daughter so she can sue him.
Yeah, however, though, when the way, obviously lawyer here, definitely not a barely high school graduate. I believe the way it works now is dealing with Republicans, that they can claim, they can threaten to sue you, but once they do, they open themselves up to discovery, which is why Trump hasn't sued anybody over Epstein files.
Yeah.
I think it eventually comes down to that. I think this NDA thing, once one person dies, they're like, all right, now we can tell the whole story.
And non-disclosure agreement does not automatically end when you die. The legal contract typically transfers to your estate or legal successors. So, no.
Well, I can't wait to see all these trials with all these twinks getting grilled up there. just released the nasty business. And if anybody else was present at the time, like another congressman, this is going to get good.
I mean, show receipts. Don't just come out and be like, look at me, I'm flamboyantly gay and I had sex with Lindsey Graham. Like, prove it. Like, you can't just say, like, well, now that he's dead, I can talk about it. Like, you technically can't, because you could still get sued. But if you got, I don't know, some birthmark that Lindsay had or something else like that can be verified, like some information that no one knows about, then I'll listen to you. But right now, it's just a bunch of clout chasing.
I see you already read the part about the little ladybugs.
What ladybugs?
Oh, in one of the many stories I read from these former clients, or I guess people he cliented?
Associates?
Yeah, associates. Yeah, let's go with that. Said something about entering the room where he's already bent over, presenting. And he said he had a bunch of this black stuff all over his back. And a further inspection, he said, these look like is this a swarm of moles? And he goes, oh, you mean my little ladybugs? On his lower back.
I mean, if you pay by the hour, you got 4 guys plowing you, you got no time to waste, baby. Like, let's get to it. I'm already face down, A up. Like, go.
Yeah, I'm all for it. And you know what? I hope his estate sues all these people. Let's just get to the bottom of it. It's not like metadata goes away.
What if they just come out and like Lindsay's last dying wish was just to tell the world that he was wrong and he really was gay, and just releases a bunch of like donations to like Planned Parenthood and everything else?
That was pretty much how my 20-minute phone call with Mitch McConnell went. That was pretty much what he told me.
Like where he talked about all modern things and everything else. He also talked about new vaccines and also new propulsion techniques. Like, he's really on top of his thing. Like, he's dying.
Yeah, I watched him belt out about 75 burpees, and take some TRT and some Alpha Brain, and he's back up and running. You're fine.
It took a while to get in touch with him since he was hiking the Alps, but when I finally got on the phone with him after he summited, like, we were able to talk for a minute.
Yeah, so I spent probably the better part of 3 hours rolling through the twinkiest stories you've ever heard in your life. And P.S., my algorithm is absolutely wrecked. I'm going to have to go get some new social media. But continuing on, from the research I was able to dig up, it seems like Lady G started off as kind of a middle ground, reach across the aisle type of guy, up until he lost his presidential hopefulness in 2016. And after that, it was pretty much a decade of and what I can only assume is blackmail-inspired voting patterns aimed at making life as terrible as possible for Americans across the country.
He started out as reaching across the aisle, and he started doing reach-arounds. Is that essentially what you're getting at?
That was exactly where I was going. So thank you for driving that point home.
I think Hunter Biden had the best thing about him. Like, he came out, he's like, listen, he's like, I want to remember Lindsey as pre-Trump. When Lindsey was talking about, like, his dad, he said nice things about him. He's like, if you hate Joe Biden, like, you're an idiot. That's one of the nicest people I'd ever met. Like, he started out nice, and then Trump came along and radicalized Lindsey.
The second he failed to secure the presidential nomination from the Republicans in 2016, he just gave up and just sold his soul, man.
I mean, could you technically make an argument that he's living his best life?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he was getting paid being Israel first, but I don't know.
He was a guy in power working 5 months out of a year at a job where apparently you could be missing in action for 28 days and still receive a paycheck.
Oh, you can go 4 months having a bunch of sad days in a row, and like Keene in Jersey or New York or wherever he's from, and still not show up.
So again, was he not living his best life then?
I mean, it definitely wasn't, because I also saw he's about middle of the pack as far as net worth goes in Congress, or I guess was. Yeah, like that. So I don't know if he's just bad at grifting, or maybe he just really meant all those hateful things his little closeted ladybugs told him. But
I mean,
either way. You seemed like a pretty good guy until a decade ago, so rest in piss.
He's doing better than anybody on this podcast. I mean, it's like I'm between Elon Musk and Larry Page in net worth. Like, I'm doing all right for myself. Like, we're kind of splitting hairs on this one. Guy gets to travel to Disney World, hop the line, and eat lollipops. Like, and then gets plowed out by 4 dudes randomly, like twinks. Like, I don't know if that's what you're into. That seems like a pretty dreamy scenario.
Yeah, net worth had him somewhere between 2 to 4 million, which seems criminally low for somebody who's been in Congress for almost 30 years.
Can't count crypto.
Yeah, no, I guess that's true. Maybe he could have converted his soul into a Trump meme coin or whatever the hell it is. Either way, that's fake too. All things money are fake except for cash.
That's what he had. All right, I think we're going to wrap this one up and see everybody on Thursday or Friday.
Works for me. I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
It's Midway.
Later, Gators.